Hi everyone, I'm Roberta. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and last week we learned how to make a balanced 300 calorie meal, and today we're going to learn how to make a balanced 400 calorie meal so that you have more options. But first I want to say hi to Jennifer. Hi Jennifer. Hi Andrea. And to everyone who has subscribed and written such nice comments, thank you so much. And I also want to say hi to Jelene, Tony, Saxa, Josie, Sonia, Janie, Joan, Jason, Juanito, Cherie, Patty, Glenda, Alejandro, and Manisha. And to everyone else whose names I can't see, thank you so much for subscribing. I didn't know if anyone was interested in learning this information, but apparently you do want to know, and I hope I can keep bringing it to you. And so the reason why we're learning what a 400 calorie meal looks like is so that you decide how to arrange your meals. Do you want to eat smaller meals more often or slightly larger meals less often? If you're following a 1500 calorie plan, or maybe you want to eat more at breakfast and a smaller meal later in the day, or if you're following an 1800 calorie plan. This is what I follow in order to maintain my weight, and it varies what I do depending upon how hungry I am that day. I might be more hungry in the morning, so I'll do it this way, or other days I choose to eat 6 times a day. Set up back there is the 300 calorie meal, but to show you a 400 calorie meal, let me grab the camera and do an overhead shot. It'll be a lot easier to see it that way. So last week we talked about the plate method, and we learned that we just section our plate into protein, vegetables, carbs, and just be mindful of the fat. So the protein's about 3 ounces, which is 20 grams. Vegetables as much as you want, and just keep it to 2 portions of carbohydrates. I hope that you downloaded the food lists, because it makes it super simple. They tell us that 15 grams of carbs is a serving. Each of these is a serving. So if you don't have these food lists, I'll put the link in the video description and you can download those. And the nutrient breakdown for this, to remind you, is 45% carbs, 25% protein, and 30% fat. So how does this 300 calorie plate turn into a 400 calorie plate? Well, first I'm going to swap out the fat to increase that just a little bit to 15 grams. And now you actually have a choice to make. Do you want to have 1 more ounce of protein, or do you want to have 1 more portion of carbs? Because either you increase your carbohydrates to a total of 45 grams of carbs, and that plate right there, the nutrition breakdown of this is 48% carbs, 20% protein, and 32% fat. Or would you rather keep the carbohydrates the same and just have 1 more ounce of protein? And the nutrient breakdown of this is 35% carbs, 30% protein, and 35% fat. And just like last week, I know some of you didn't want to know all of that detail. You just want to know a general sense of what to do. So protein, keep it to no more than 3 to 4 ounces at a meal. Carbohydrates, no more than 2 to 3 portions at a time, and a lot of vegetables. We still have to be mindful of our fat intake, because that can build up in calories pretty quickly. And all of us need to follow 3 general rules. For that, I took some pictures at the grocery store yesterday, and I want to show you right now. The first general rule is to pay attention to how much fat is in your food, as well as how much you're adding to your food. I want to show you the different fat content of meats, but if you get grossed out looking at raw meat, turn away, don't look at the screen, and I'll tell you when you can look. Okay, turn away. And so we're looking at different fat content of beef. Here we have 93% lean. We see the serving size is 4 ounces raw. It cooks down to 3 ounces. The total fat is 8 grams. Remember, we don't want more than 10 to 15 grams of fat at a meal. Then this 90% lean has how much fat? 11 grams. And this last one, which is 85% lean, it has 17 grams of fat per serving. You can look back at the screen now. So rule number one for everybody is definitely pay attention to your meats and go for the leaner cuts of meat. The second rule for everyone, whether you're just counting calories or not, is you still have to be careful about the carbohydrate content of your foods. Because here we're looking at pasta, and we see on the spaghetti label that a serving is 200 calories. And you might say, oh great, my meal is 400 calories. I'm going to have 400 calories of pasta. But each portion of pasta is going to give you 42 grams of carbs, minus 2 fiber, so actually 40 grams. When we consume too much carbohydrate at one time, we overstimulate insulin production in the pancreas, and consistently having a lot of insulin released at one time increases the risk of heart disease, and it increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in life. So rule number two, when you're striving for weight loss, is that you still need to make sure you don't go over 45 grams of carbs at one time. Pop-Tarts, we see that the serving is 2 for 370 calories. And you might think, great, I will keep this to 400 calories. I will eat both of the Pop-Tarts in that package. But the total carbs is 70 grams. You're going to get a lot of insulin released from the pancreas. And again, if you over and over release too much insulin over time, you increase your risk of heart disease and your risk of developing type 2 diabetes later on in life. So as we're working on weight loss, we still want to limit our carbs to no more than 45 grams at each meal. The last rule has to do with fruit. When it comes to losing weight, we don't want more than 2 to 3 servings of fruit a day, and we don't want to have more than 1 serving at a time. So whether you're having pineapple, which 3/4 cup is a serving, or mango, only half of a cup is a serving, we need to limit it to no more than 1 serving of fruit at a time. Bananas, the chart says that half of a banana is a serving, but if you buy the smaller bananas, like this one, count that as a serving, where the larger bananas, half a banana would be a serving. And regarding fruit salads, 1 cup of mixed fruits is considered a serving. So don't have any more than 1 measuring cup at one time. So now you know the 3 rules that we all should be following, and you know how to put together a 300 calorie and 400 calorie meal. You have now built a solid foundation that's going to carry you through this journey that we're going to take together about weight loss. If you found the content interesting, please subscribe. And until next time, take good care of yourself. Bye.